Hello Hattrickers, this is a guide to the league swap system I think you might want to utilize during the off-season, especially with the changes to the series system introduced in Hattrick a few seasons ago and being rolled out in more countries as we go along. In this video I'll go over the different ways of changing your series and what to consider from a few scenarios that I have made. The scenarios are being a new team, being in a building mode, and moving towards a competitive mode. So let's just take a look at the changes made to the league pyramids and why these are relevant for your league choice. I've made a diagram here to show how the pyramids are widening on each league tier. On the left we have the old system in Denmark and the new system in Denmark on the right as well. It used to be like every league tier you would multiply by 4, so in the top tier you would have 1 team, in the second tier you would have 4 teams, 16 teams in the third tier, 64 in the fourth, 256 in the fifth tier, and 1024 in the sixth tier. Every subsequent tier onwards would have the same amount of series, but that's changed now in the new system. In Denmark we had a change to the 6th, reducing it to 256 league tables, matching the number of tier 5. The adjustment in the tiers of the pyramid does depend on the number of teams in the country. Now, what does it actually mean for a new team starting out in the 6th tier in Denmark? It means that first and second place teams are automatically promoted and teams finishing in third and fourth are playing a promotion match. And that's a very important factor for a newly started team because you might end up getting an unwanted promotion from this situation. We'll look at that in a second when we look at the different scenarios listed for your league selection. Before we look at the different scenarios, I want to show the 2 different types of swap you can make during the off-season in Hattrick. You have the preferred series option and you have the manual swap option. The preferred series option happens during the promotion and demotion window, and you'll enter a queue, and this will be your first option to actually swap your series. If that doesn't go according to the plan, you can do the manual swap instead, where you can swap series in the swapping window Thursday through Friday in week 16 of the season. It requires a bot in the designated spot you want to swap to, and you can only do 1 swap per season. In my current league, the preferred series option is available down in the next season planner down here. It also shows that you can actually select series in the 3 bottom layers of your country. Since I play in Division 5, I can select a preferred series in 6, 5 and 4 because I could potentially demote and potentially promote this season. Assuming I had a chance to promote this season, I can click this browse link and then I would be able to pick a preferred series here. You can also see how many teams are already in queue. You can sort with different options. Here's average team power rating, and you can see someone's already picked out the weakest league in the series so far. 1 team in queue and 2 teams in queue for the second strongest. The alternative is using Hattrick, a website where you can actually rank all of the series in the country and in each layer. The difference between the Hattrick browse series and the Hattrick side is the fact that the Hattrick side does filter out if you have a bot team in the series. It may be wise to take a second look at Hattrick before you lock in your preferred choice of preferred series. Now, in order to do a manual swap on Thursday and Friday in 16, you'll have to find a series with an actual bot in it in order to do the swap. Once the window opens here, you can see the bot here and you would be able to pick the series down here, but that button is only available if there's an actual bot in the system. You will have to scroll down to the next season planner window in order to make the swap, so don't be confused about the change. I have listed 3 scenarios and how I would prioritize different aspects of Hattrick Life in a series according to the situation of your club. So there's the new team, there's the building scenario, and there's the competing scenario. Now, if you're starting out with a new team, the most important thing is having a social experience. It's more fun to play against human managers. It may help you avoid finishing first or second the first few seasons, where the actual jump to the next division will be too hard to manage for your team anyway. It is a good way to establish the club, building up good fan base, and get your stadium expanded to a suitable size before you consider promoting. Once you promote, your fan base will increase by 10%. Quite a waste to get, let's say, 90 fans from this promotion, because you will lose another 10% if you demote the next season, potentially losing even more fans because you would still gain fans next year. It would be very likely that you would demote again. You might be thinking, Isn't it better to play against bots and gain a lot of fans that way? It might be fun for a short while, but eventually playing against other managers is way more fun for a lot of people. So definitely try to see if you could find an active league, get some social interaction while you play, avoid the promotion, and establish your club at a nice and easy pace. I will be sharing some examples of how you can increase this social interaction in your league at the end of the video as well. The next scenario is when you are building your team. And one of the things I like to prioritize in this situation is to balance the challenge between building your team and getting some results. Finding a league where you potentially could compete if you promote, while also being able to build your team at a relatively low cost. So it's more about balancing here. So I've moved this above the social experience. So you still want some social interaction with human managers, and it also keeps you sharp, I'd like to say, having to change up your tactics and trying to beat other managers, because you will be needing this once you move to the competing phase anyway. The final thing you want to focus on is obviously making as much profit as possible while you are playing this division. The final scenario that I have listed here is the competing scenario, and it's more like a pre-competing scenario actually. I would prioritize finding the easiest possible league if the goal is to promote as fast as possible, because bringing as much fans over to the next tier utilizes that 10% promotion bonus that I mentioned in the new team scenario. So having an easier league, trying to get a cup run, getting some extra profit from a cup run, some experience for those players, is above the social experience for this scenario. That is from sort of a min-maxing point of view as well, but that's how I think I would do it in the pre-competing phase of a team build. So I do have a few ideas on how you can increase the social interaction in your league, and that could be setting up a serious picks competition where you pick the winner of each match. Perhaps you can even add a bonus for picking the correct result as well. I've been hosting these in my own series before, and I've even put supporter packages on the line as prizes for the winners. I've also had good experiences actually sharing team plans and build plans with the other managers in the series to get to know each other and know the other players. It may sound a little counterproductive to be sharing information about your players with other managers, but once you get to high level play of Hattrick, most managers have a good idea of what your players would look like anyway, so don't worry too much about that aspect, but consider doing some of these things in order to get to know the other managers in your league. Another little thing that might actually seem counterproductive is to help your league managers. I've had some good experiences help other managers either by training each other's players or trying to set up 120-minute friendlies each and every week using the cup rules. Expanding your Hattrick network could always become handy once you try to compete. You might even have someone to spar with if you need some input regarding tactics or strategies down the line. Let me know in the comments if you have successfully swapped series in the past. What was the scenario? What was the context? And how did it go? Thank you so much for watching. I hope we see each other on the field in Hattrick. Goodbye.